Imagine spending years studying biomedical science only to wonder, was it all worth it? If you are in biomedical science in 2025 and beyond, you've probably heard the doubts. Rising tuition fees, a competitive job market, rapid advances in AI. It's fair to ask if biomedical science is still a smart bet. Well, today we are tackling that question head on. Spoiler alert, the answer isn't a simple yes or no. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear picture of where this field is heading and whether it's the right path for you. Stay tuned because the future of biomedical science might surprise you. Let's go. Hi everyone, welcome to a new video. I am so excited about this. This is the video that I was really couldn't wait to present it to you. Is biomedical science still worth studying in 2025 and beyond? So we are going to be exploring the future of biomedical science or biomedicine. I'm using these two words interchangeably, so stay tuned. We're going to discuss the differences between them or if they are same. So yeah, so today's agenda will be looking at the overview. It's going to be an overview on the concerns, opportunities in biomedical science. What are the common doubts about biomedical science, the degree itself, what are the career options, the current or the recent developments and innovation in this field, the job market outlook for anybody who's graduating from biomedical science, and the least spoken about, the personal growth and the transferable skills that you gain from that. So the big question, exploring the importance of biomedical science. Is biomedical science or biomedicine relevant? By the way, I'm going to use biomedicine and biomedical science interchangeably, but I mean both of them are the same. But this has raised a question which I'm going to talk in a future video about that. So just think of biomedical science in this video, in this concept. So what I want you to understand about biomedical science, it's crucial for healthcare advancement in general, and understanding its role or your role as a biomedical scientist in improving health, that will, or human health, that will help you to appreciate the passion in this field, and also to continue being curious about that. So first, let's have a look at what are the current concerns of what are the doubts that are around biomedical science. The job market saturation. There's a common worry that there's too many graduates out there and less job opportunities. So that's a concern. And the other concern is salary expectations. A lot of people are worried that the salary expectations or the salaries will not meet their expectation. But bear in mind, there's inflation, guys. So regardless how much you're earning, the inflation is still going up and the salaries are remaining the same. So that's the overall situation. And the uncertainty about the career paths. A lot of people are not sure about the career path, so that's limiting your interest. Yes, we hear about the accreditation, we hear about the HCPC. Not everybody is clear about that because it really depends on your degree. So that leads us to the next point, the realities of biomedical science degree. Understanding what to expect in this degree is extremely important. It does require a high level of dedication and hard work. You will experience a lot of coursework and practical experiments or experiences or write-ups. However, I'm speaking from the other end. There is a reward because you will understand more about health sciences and it will help you to contribute to healthcare advancement. If you're new to this channel, I'm Aida Noor. I'm a UK registered biomedical scientist, and I've had the long journey to become a biomedical scientist, so I can tell you all about it, and I'm aware of the different paths that you can take in order to become qualified biomedical scientist. I didn't have an accredited degree, I didn't have lab experience, so I had to go through this long route, which I have discussed in previous videos. And I always have a pinned comment where it has all the playlists, so have a look at that. That leads us to the next point, career opportunities. There are diverse career opportunities, whether you want to end up in a lab role or non-lab role. And recently I've spoken about the future of biomedical science, or the the biomedical science roots, have a look at that. So because of technology and the AI, there are new roles that will appear. So these are other roles that I've mentioned in my latest videos about them. Research scientist, where you engage with groundbreaking research to develop new medical treatments, solutions. So that's a position that keep an eye for when you're looking for opportunities. Clinical research coordinator. Because of the AI and technology and all of that, there's a lot of trials, clinical trials that are out there. So your role as a coordinator can be very beneficial. Ensuring compliances, data integrity in medical research, that's another role. Regulatory affairs specialist, because of the complexity about regulations to bring the innovation products into the market, that whole process you might be involved in. So the reason I chose these three roles is because these are the ones that are hidden at the moment, or not a lot of people talk about it, but this is something that I experienced, I explored when I had to look at it into deeper. And so I've spoken in my latest video about the future of biomedical science, so check that out where I talk about that in details. So this video is especially to know, is it worth doing biomedical science? Because I'm sure this is at the back of everybody's mind, including myself. I had to ask this question, even though I'm in that career, but I had to ask myself this question: is it worth doing it? So I've discovered there are more and more to learn about that. So let's look at the innovations in biomedical science. In 2025 and beyond, biomedical science is going through a whole breakthrough or a whole revolution that is in terms of enhancing diagnosis and treatments of and management of diseases. And this is driven by AI driven research, and personalized medicine are revolutionizing patient care, improving outcomes, and offering innovative solutions to complex health issues. So AI is speeding everything up, but also is creating loads of opportunities, which we're going to look at that in the next point. What are the growth trends and career pathways in 2025? I'm talking about 2025 because this video is out in 2025, but this is about the future of biomedical science. So this is continuation from the previous video where I spoke about the future of biomedical science. So what I want you to take away from this is, yes, the job market for biomedical science is going to be expanding, not the other way around, because the advancement in healthcare technology and increased demand for research, you as graduates will be expected to have more roles in pharmaceuticals, academia, clinical settings, and all of that will offer a lot of career pathways. So this was something I had to ask myself and research about it, and yes, there are more. So I want you to also appreciate the impact of healthcare research. To understand, it's very important to understand how it has an effect on the bigger picture. So when you're improving healthcare outcomes by healthcare, biomedical research leads to more innovative treatments, better enhanced patient care. This will help to advance medical knowledge, because you'll understand more about diseases and their mechanisms. So these studies will help us to understand, and that also it will have an economical growth, because that will create more jobs, that will create more money for the economy. So it's a win-win, and also it's better patient care, because we're not going to need to go to the doctors like before. You've got all smartwatches, telemedicine, all of that, digital health, all of these come together. So the innovation in biomedical science, we are exploring groundbreaking advancement in technology and science today, where cutting-edge research techniques are being made, new methods to enhance accuracy, improve outcomes in biomedical research. The breakthroughs in medical devices are transforming diagnosis and patient treatments or patient care in real time. Data-driven decisions. Because of all these data that are being created, they are being analyzed, therefore they will lead to smarter decisions, therefore they will need to personalized medicine approach. So in terms of careers, how is that going to affect career options? Well, the good news is there is going to be career flexibilities. There will be diverse opportunities. Some jobs, like in what we've discussed in the future of work, there will be jobs that didn't exist yet. Like these 3 roles that I've just mentioned, they're not out into public or at a larger scales, but they are in the making. So yes, biomedical science will offer incredible opportunities. It's a versatile degree or career. You are expected to move between research, between healthcare, or even become an entrepreneur. Like I mentioned in a previous video in the Q&A, if you come up with a solution, you might end up creating a product, and then you might come present it, and an investor will surprisingly find about it and it will invest, and before you know it, you've created a solution and you became an entrepreneur. Now, this is something I personally like, and not a lot of people talk about it, but truly appreciating this point will really have an amazing impact on your career forever, if I may say. Yes, having a career in biomedical science will help you to grow personally. And this is by enhancing your transferable skills or soft skills, which not a lot of people talk about, but it's extremely important. Yes, studying biomedical science will provide, as much as they focus on the technical and the educational part, or the technical knowledge, but also the other skills such as critical thinking, communication, problem solving. These the skills that AI will not replace. So these transferable skills, they really help you, not just in this career, but in any career that you might embark after finishing your degree, if you decide to. And it will equip you for diverse career paths. I give you an example. I know somebody who studied biomedical science, but they didn't want to work in a lab, and they've landed on the first opportunity that they had, and they moved into HR, and they've done fantastically well. I know people who moved into recruitment. They've done very well. Some people went into editing, and I will be having them on the platform to share their journey, how they manage. But they all had one thing in common. They started in biomedical science, whether they moved after the degree or they worked as a biomedical scientist and they moved into something else. I share my journey. I share a lot of content. So I'm involved in science communication. So that's another soft skill, is communication, the critical thinking. I think about the ideas and then I analyze them and I do my research and then I share it with you guys. So I always say biomedical science does equip you with some skills, and I do apologize when I present it to non-scientific audience, or if the audiences are there. There are many skills that as a biomedical scientist you will gain. So don't underestimate the transferable skills or the soft skills, because they will take you very far, and that includes networking and all of these together. Another thing that you need to bear in mind and appreciate is, when you're facing challenges, you need to have a realistic approach. There are some challenges you might have encountered or you will encounter, is balancing your coursework with personal commitments. And this is simple. You have to balance life with work anyway, regardless. Understanding scientific complex concepts, especially when you're new to it. Navigating the job market, even though they say after graduation, no, start before you graduate, as soon as you start studying, or even before you start studying. You need to learn how to manage stress and mental health. That's a skill that you need to start mastering. And obviously finding the right job opportunity or internships or placements. These challenges will always be there anyway in life, because when you start working, you will need to balance between working shifts or working and your life anyway, the work-life balance or work-life harmony. So start acknowledging from a very early stage. Your time management, it's the first thing you need to learn. That's the first skill that you need to learn. And I like this quote by Emily Carter, a biomedical science expert, where she says, navigating accreditation and placement in biomedical science is crucial. Overcoming these hidden hurdles will ensure that you're equipped for the evolving landscape of healthcare and research in the years to come. So it's extremely important to bear that in mind. Unfortunately, biomedical science is not like any career. You graduate and you land on a job. Unfortunately, you have to put in the work to ensure that you have the lab experience, which is extremely important to appreciate if the accreditation is feasible. If not, then you need to find a route in order for you to get this accreditation underway, which I've spoken about excessively, and I'm sure you appreciate that now. But on the brighter side, like I always say, it's unlike the corporate jobs. If a company goes down, your job is gone. No, you are actually securer because you've got the experience, you've got the knowledge, you've got the accreditation. As long as you're not doing anything illegal, you're absolutely future-proofed, if I may say. So that's in a sense of understanding facing challenges and how you can overcome them. Now let's move into the next section, which is money and salary expectations, especially if you're entering. I would say the first thing is you need to be realistic. The current situation, the global situation now, we are all suffering from inflation. So be realistic. That's the first thing I would say. So exploring the financial aspects of starting your career in biomedical science, especially if you're a new graduate, you have to understand that you start with the modest salary. Especially if you don't have experience, that really matters. Think of the long-term earning. Once you gain experience, your salary will significantly increase, and that will give you the financial growth. Also, I want you to think beyond the pay. The skills, the experiences that you gain, they will lead to a greater opportunity or opportunities in the future, because truly, like I said, you are much more secure than if you are working for a company and that company goes bust. Then you have to look for another job with another company, relying on your people, the people that you know, your connections, your network, etc. That's still applicable in our field, but again, your CV speaks for you before you in person. Of course, your reputation matters, but I want you to think in the long term. For example, in my case, I'm self-employed. I've worked with an agency. When I first started, I was new to the self-employment. So I started at a reasonable salary. It wasn't the expected, the one I was looking for, but I was thinking I'm starting, so I have to build on that. And then when I changed agency, I had a better expectation because I already had more experience and I had market experience as a self-employed. And this is something I would advise anybody who's looking into self-employment or locoming. Start at a reasonable money, build the experience or build reputation, and then you can ask for higher earning or higher money. So don't look at the money side now. Build on your experience and your reputation, and then the salary will come with the experience. So this will be my advice in terms of salary and money. So this is something that I really appreciate speaking about because it's the least spoken about. Yes, we talk about mental health a lot, but in biomedical science, understanding the emotional challenges that students face, it's definitely important to mention it out loud. And I include this about biomedical science. The mental load can be heavy for students, especially in biomedical science, and that can lead to stress because you're trying to balance coursework, practicals, personal life. You're still young, you're exploring, you're new, and all of that requires coping strategies, time management to maintain both mental health and fostering resilience, which you will start building. And I'm telling you, this will help you in the long run. Nothing will faze you because you've built that from a very early age in your career. So recognizing these challenges, it's the best way you can cope. Because let me give you a very simple example. Now I've been in this field for so many years. When I'm in the lab, it's a very busy environment, especially now when I'm self-employed. But in a lab in general, you've got your own bench. You're responsible for your own bench. You've got 2 screens. Let me talk about mine. I specialize in medical microbiology, infection sciences. So I've got a bench that I'm responsible for. I've got the screens, I've got the work, I've got the machines around me, I've got the people around me. There's a lot of sound around, but I need to stay in that focused mode. I developed that with years of focusing. So I'm able to work under pressure, to prioritize my work, to organize my work, at the same time dealing with any breakdowns or anything. And also if I have stress in my own life, for example. So all of this, you start managing that in real life anyway. So being a scientist, you think of the problem, you look for the solution, you become very practical. Sometimes some people tell me you're a bit too dry. I said, well, I work in my environment, so we have to learn to just be sequential in our approach. So we don't have time to break down because there's a patient at the end of this sample that you're handling. So you build that from a very early stage. That's why I always say work in a lab, even if you don't end up in a lab, because at least you got that skill that will secure you for the rest of your life. Now in real life, if I have a situation, I just think in a practical way. Okay, this is the problem. What can I do about it? How can I handle it? Da, 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 da. That's it. So yes, it's hard at the beginning, but it will, you'll be comfortable at the end. I'm not saying when I face challenges, I'm wow, Rosie. No, I'm like all of you, but I'm just telling you how my professional development helped me in my personal life. So that's just a bit of a backstory, just to give you a bit of a what is it like being a biomedical scientist in general. So I know I've shared a lot of my journey online, and there's many videos about my journey in self-employment and in general, and all the other aspects. So my journey in biomedical science has given me a personal story in terms of growth and discovery. I didn't study biomedical science as such. My degree was in biochemistry, and then I didn't know what to do with the degree. Then I've applied for biomedical science masters, thinking that will qualify me. All of that, I didn't have any experience. Then I started working as a research scientist in a drug discovery company, connected to my dissertation. So it was continuation from there. And then I really wanted to get into the medical, biomedical science field. And then I started my journey as an MLA. So I'm not going to lie, biomedical science has opened many doors to me, because especially when I went into self-employment, I realized the whole reason I wanted was obviously the COVID was an eye-opener for me to discover more about research, patient care, and I wanted to have a much more fulfilling role in biomedical science, not just in the lab, but outside the lab, in society, not just healthcare, but also in society. So my journey was in biomedical science went through two phases. A phase before qualifying. So during that journey, I was documenting my thoughts, sharing it on social media, specifically Instagram. And then people used to read my thoughts and they said, why don't you publish a book? I never thought about creating, a book or writing a book. And then I realized there's many things that they don't tell you at university or even before you start your career. And that led to publishing my first book, Idle Thoughts. So in this book, I shared what they don't tell you. It's a very simple book, very thin book. Not it's not a lot of writing, and that's where I shared the skills or the transferable skills with the stories that I learned throughout to become a biomedical scientist, to qualify. And then COVID hit, and when I started my first role as a biomedical scientist, I realized 6 months down the line, I thought, okay, I'm getting bored. I want to learn. I want to challenge myself. And then I started a course a postgraduate course in healthcare management, because I really wanted to, because I've been chasing this dream for so long and I've been in the lab for some time. I wanted to progress. And then I discovered, hold on, when COVID hit, there's a difference between a job and a career. We tend to think a job is our career. No, a career, it's your values, your life, your personal choices, your interests, etc. and a job is part of your day. Then I realized there's something called a career, a dream career. Then I published my second book, Creating Your Dream Career. That was my second book, where I discovered that your career or your dream career can be beyond job applications. And that's when I started exploring networking, LinkedIn, more. I didn't realize I was part of the Great Resignation. There's something called the gig economy, which I'm part of. Gig economy, which is you work for a company for a short time, which is applicable to me. So there was a lot of things. So I must admit, biomedical science has opened the door to me to many other opportunities. So I hope my story inspires you, and that's the reason I created this channel, so that I can share everything about biomedical science and beyond. And yeah, I'm very grateful that my page on LinkedIn, Biomedical Science and Beyond, has exceeded the 1,000 followers. Thank you so much. I didn't expect it to grow, but I just wanted to share everything on a platform that everybody will be able to learn. And so basically I'm learning and sharing with all of you, and your engagement on all my other social media, LinkedIn, etc. It's appreciated. So be yourself, share what you know, and then you never know. But biomedical science, yes, I confirm it does open opportunities, and it's going to get better and better. So let's move into the next point, where you as a graduate, how you can explore that. So yes, a degree can transform your life and your career. Graduates from biomedical programs have gone to achieve their remarkable successes. There's many case studies out there, so if you research, you'll find out. And yeah, some of them have led innovative projects in healthcare, research, technology, and demonstrated that their degree had a positive impact to their careers. And I'm one of them, guys. I used biomedical science. I used my communication skills to, communicate science in a bite size. And this is how I overcome the complexity of this, by breaking down any complicated or complex topic into smaller bite size. That kind of makes life much easier, and this is the way my brain works anyway, but it seems like that's the most effective now. So how would you maximize your chances or your biomedical science journey? This will be my main 3 for you guys. Engage with the faculty, or the faculty where you're in. Build strong relationships with your professors to gain insight and mentorships. Seek internships. Hands-on experience is crucial because it will enhance your skills and it will boost your employability after graduation. Networking effectively or actively is extremely important, where you connect with your peers, professionals, to discover any opportunities and exchange ideas. So you need to be a proactive person. There's gone are the days of just being yourself and staying in your own cocoon. That's not an option now. That's no way. You need to be proactive and active. And that leads me to the final advice I would give you guys. Lifelong learning matters 100%, even for me as a professional. Staying curious and keep learning is extremely important, because this is how you grow. You don't just grow professionally, but also you grow personally. So don't underestimate the importance of being proactive and active. It's not an option anymore. And the only ones that I have seen that stood out are the ones who are active. They're the ones who are seen. That's why I always say visibility is important. Being on LinkedIn is extremely important, and I talk about that in greater details in other videos. So that's in a nutshell about answering the question, is biomedical science worth it or not? So, is biomedical science worth studying in 2025 and beyond? Let's recap. We saw that the field is booming because of innovation, and still bright minds are contributing to this field. We discussed about how the degree can be fulfilling, yet it can be very challenging. It will give you the right skills, whether technical or transferable skills. However, you need to have the growth mindset. That's what matters. Fixed mindset is not going to work for you. And that's very, very important to bear in mind. And you need to be passionate about science and health. I love science. I enjoy my career so much. I love being in the lab. I love contributing. I love talking about it. So that helps me to, overcome the difficulties that it can come with it. And now, like I said, fast forward, I can see that it gave me the resilience to, in life in general, not just in my profession, and even with my content and building all of this it doesn't happen overnight. It requires resilience and patience. So in 2025 and beyond, we need compassionate and clever people like yourselves in biomedical science. The next pandemic, the next cancer breakthrough, the next global health challenge, they will require you. So what I want you to take away from this video is, if this is what you love, don't let the naysayers sway you. Every field has its challenge. Every field has its uncertainty. But not every field will give you the chance to profoundly improve people's lives in biomedical science. I chose this field because I wanted to make a difference. And it's helping me to combine it with my passion as well. I like to make a difference. So what I want you to take away is ask yourself, where do you see yourself in the next 5-10 years? Is biomedical science something that you're passionate about? If the answer is yes, then dive in and enjoy the journey. Even if the path has its twists and turns, it might lead you to a slightly better destination, and it will give you the right knowledge and growth that you need. I hope this video has given you a bit of enlightening and answering that big question, because this was the question that I asked myself. Is it worth doing biomedical science? What's the future of biomedical science? So I did discuss in a previous video how you future-proof your career. I also answered the question about the future of biomedical science. Now we are answering the question, is it worth doing biomedical science in 2025 and beyond? So I hope this clears some of your worries, and maybe it will excite you about what's lying ahead. If this resonates with you, hit the like button. Let me know, what do you think, guys? Do you agree? If you disagree, let's continue this conversation. This is not a one-off. Like I promised, this channel is not about me telling you what to do. I'm walking with you. I'm discovering with you. I'm asking the questions, whether you guys inspired me or whether it's something I consumed and I saw online or comments I've seen. I share it here on this channel. So share your ideas, share your thoughts, share your worries. Stay curious, stay motivated, and stay tuned to the next video, where we're going to talk about the top 10 mistakes in biomedical science that people can make, including my ones. So stay tuned for that. So make sure you subscribe, like, hit, comment, do everything, and stay tuned. There's more and more to come. I'm so excited to share with you the content that's coming up. I'm just wrapping up few in addition to the Q&As. Keep them in. So I hope this video was beneficial. I'm gonna leave it there, and until the next video, keep shining, keep inspiring, and see you next time.